good time to start. On my team here, I have Dima and Vlad. They will, some of you may know them already.
Yeah, so hello everyone.
This is Dima and this is Vlad. And maybe in some onboarding you've met them. They're leading the technical team. And yeah, so I think that we have many people joining from all over the world. We're really delighted. And this webinar will be an introduction to how you can optimize a website in a very short time. Thank you, guys. By the way, if anyone wants to speak during the call, you're welcome. Just raise your hand and or ask questions. We'll try to address them. At the end of the session, there would be a Q&A session and a poll. So you'd be able to ask your questions or answer some other questions. And yes, so I think that we can start. So how do you revolutionize your website SEO in under an hour? This is the topic of our webinar. And this is the agenda we're going to cover. So what are our objectives? How can you use Nytro SEO to automatically boost your rankings? And understanding some of the key parameters of search intent and search snippet view, and the Q&A session. That's the plus minus the agenda. So what is the problem? The problem is that many websites, actually most websites, have serious deficiencies in meta tags. A survey that was done recently of more than 1 million websites by Airfis shows these deficiencies clearly. And one of the main interesting points that we're going to cover is that there is a big mismatch between the content of the page and the tags, other than the fact that some of them are missing, etc. But you know, the result is that there is a mismatch. And we're going to discuss this more broadly. So basically, what are our objectives? We want to create unique meta tags for each web page separately. We want to make these meta tags highly relevant towards the ranking and eventually boost those rankings. So that's the objective. And this is an extract from Google's Search Central official guidelines. And here they actually explain what do they expect website owners to do. Basically, they expect to add all the keyword search terms that people would naturally search for into the meta tags and into other descriptions in a way that they will basically help them to understand the page contents. And they also declare that these are part of the indexing of the page content and the metadata is part of it. So just as a reference, by the way, we'll share the presentation at the end of the call or by email, and you can find all the relevant links here. So this search snippet is a very important parameter in how search engines actually interpret your web page. And basically, we would like the search snippet to be optimized to your target audience. Once we achieve this, we're able to increase relevance of the search snippet, will improve indexing, user experience will be better, and eventually ranking would be better. So this is our objective. Okay, so we are saying that a website can be optimized in less than an hour, basically, and sometimes it can be optimized for much less even than that. What's the process? The process is pretty simple. If you were to go to our system, open an account, all you need to do is just add your website URL here, add the keywords, and press add. At this stage, the website has been added to the system. Following that, you would go through a short automation wizard. This automation wizard will just help you collect or identify the information you need to add. And basically, it includes basic information about your company name, locations, if you want to target the tags to specific locations. It can be cities, countries, etc. Here you can add more keywords to the ones you added initially or review them. This section here talks about your target audience and allows you to just look at everything and then process. So this is the basic process. It takes 10 minutes just to review them and press the submit and process. The website has been added. Following that stage, you need to copy the snippet code and add it to your website header. There are various techniques to do that. We're not going to go into the technicalities, but it's very similar to adding an analytics code. And one of the nice parts about Nytro system is that it doesn't actually require to be installed as a plugin. It doesn't touch the CMS data at all. We use what's called client-side rendering, and this technology enables us to catch the raw HTML that comes out of the CMS, be any CMS, and basically we render that raw HTML into an optimized version of that much better. This is the second phase of just looking at them, and then once we understand how the tags are built, for example, if we can see that some pages are not optimized correctly, we can go to the rules that generated them and fix them. I will ask Dima to show you how it's done. It's very simple. And Dima, if you can project 1 minute and show how we customize the rules, just as an example.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you need to make me a presenter.
Okay,
I'm not able to share.
Yes, okay. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm sharing. So do you see my screen?
Yes. Does everyone see Dima's screen, just to confirm? Yes. Okay, cool.
Great.
Oh, so many. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah, in order to see the settings, we can go to the settings menu directly by menu, or we can go to the metadata, which we usually do, to review it. And at the top right corner, the two main functions. One is to refresh, and another to change the settings, to play with them. And another function is to compare original meta tags that stored in your CMS, and you can switch to optimized one. And you can immediately see that keywords are placed at the beginning of the titles and descriptions, and everything is cleaned up for optimization. So I will show how to change the settings. I go here, and the same screen is here in the menu, but it's wider, so maybe it's easier to manage from here. All you need to do is just to order the structure of the items that from which the title are constructed or the description are constructed below. So
yes, what's interesting to see is that it's really drag and drop. You look at the structure of the title or description and you just build the elements. If you want to change them, our default settings are usually capable to handle most websites or the majority of the website. But in cases where you can see that there are some still not perfect tags, it's very easy just to customize. Dima, can you show how you create a rule, let's say for blog, for example, or usually blog sections are a little bit different than other pages, but this can apply to collections, to products, to anything. And Dima will show you how we are creating different logic for different pages.
Yes. For different pages, we can add additional rules. There's add additional rule button, and there's add X to disable the previous one. I will search by the URL. Is there any blocks? Okay, we don't have any blocks. But probably we have something about HTML. Yeah, SEO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So above, actually, we use this to build our tags in production. And there we have some pages about with the best prefix, with the how can prefix, and they are generated by specific rules for that.
Yes, let's talk a little bit about the components, Dima. So we have different components that we can play with. A prefix is, for example, best, top, leading. These are elements that you can add to the tag. It's becoming more and more available, and there's statistics to suggest that many websites that starts with best, many pages that start with best or top have better chances to rank better. So we have this component, it is called prefix. And we have component, it's called keyword 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning take the best keyword for the page and then takes the next best keyword for the page. And then we have, you can choose any header out of the page that you want to use. And any component basically from the page, at any one of the headers, any one of the elements. We have an XPath component, which is a unique function we developed that can enable us to choose even basically any non-defined element in the page and enter it into the tags. So basically we have flexibility to do whatever we want in terms of configuring the rules, making them flexible, and making them apply to the entire website. So this is So we add unique meta tags to each page. We optimize the meta tags for content relevancy, keyword search queries, user search intent, and search snippet view. And we adapt and implement corrective measures. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Okay, so yes, let's take an example of a search query, a specific search query that we will make an example of. Yes. So we are going to look at the search query that is called best, which is presenting. Is there a problem? Okay. Yes, we're going to take an example of best automated SEO software as an example of a query that we entered into the system. You can see here that this keyword is placed in the system itself. It's got a score. This score is very interesting score because it takes into account a lot of parameters relating to this keyword, and eventually what that we will do, we will add this keyword. It's being analyzed, it's being scored. We measure the performance of these keywords, in this particular case, in 3 search engines. And there's eventually a score that we can see here. And this score represents the compatibility and the promotional potential of this keyword to the website content. It also shows the pages that this keyword is attached to. It also shows which pages the system decided that are most relevant for this keyword. And it will therefore generate and include that keyword in those tags. Okay, so this page that I showed a minute ago, this one, is this page here on our website. And this page here has a few keywords that are suitable for promotion. And the system did this automatically. It scored those keywords and is presenting those keywords to the system. You can see them here. First keyword with the best score, second keyword with the second score. And basically, it will use these keywords that were scored for this page to create the tags. Okay. When we add a keyword to the system, we also generate what's called user search intent. We create a short user search intent and a long user search intent, which we can then integrate into the tags for this particular keyword. So that's done automatically. These now we're placed in the page metadata section. And you can see here the title, and you can see here the description that the system generated, and the primary keyword that is used in the title, and the primary keyword is also used in the description, and the secondary keyword is used in the title and in the description, and the brand is added. So this is actually view and see. And basically, the keywords that we optimize for, the primary keyword and the secondary keywords, actually appear in this search snippet, which is a very good situation, because this way the search engines can have accepted these keywords that we proposed, that our system proposed for this page, and are displaying them to the users. Yeah. So if we look at the performance of this particular keyword across time, we will be able to see how it changed, how the ranks are basically being improved over time. And you can also see some volatility here, like the ups and downs. Search engine SERP volatility is very common. It's very common, and it is something that happens all the time. And one of the functions of our system is the ability to implement corrective measures. And corrective measures are changes that we make to the logic of the tags in response to search engines' reactions. So each time our services are running, we ping and we collect a lot of information, both from the website and both from external sources like search engines. And we ask them, why did you rank a keyword in one way? What's the relevancy of a keyword for another page? We measure every keyword compared to the entire website pages. And then if search engines show higher relevancy for other pages, then we shift and remove the tags in a way that complies with how the search engine is seeing the website and the keywords. Of course, there's no guarantee here, but we found it to be fairly effective. And in most cases, we can recover such situations. But yeah, so that's the corrective algorithms. Another thing which is very interesting, so when we run our tags, when we expose our tags to the search engines, we don't know if the search engine will accept the tags that we propose, that the system generated. And one of the parameters that we're actually showing is the acceptance of these tags by search engines. And the big green bar is an exact acceptance, and the small green bar in the middle is partial acceptance. So in many cases, search engines might use only part of the tags that we proposed, but as long as the keywords are there, then we may accept it as a partial acceptance. So this is how we measure the effectiveness. And it's a very important parameters, because if we manage to reach a situation where the search engine actually accepted what we presented to them, it means they're also accepting the queries that are included in them. That's it. So it's like a high-level overview. We're going to open Q&A for everyone now. So please ask your questions and we'll try to answer them. We can't hear you. 1 minute, 1 minute. Yes, go ahead.
Hey.
So, question, just wanted to ask, do you recommend citing the link titles to the topic of the page or set them to match the target page that they're linking to?
Okay, very good question. The way we optimize link anchor titles is we present the target title of the page. The reason being is that, first of all, it gives relevancy. So when a user hovers on a click, he knows which page is going to reach. And so this gives a very high level of relevancy. And it also tells the search engine it's kind of strengthened the power of the tags for that particular page. So that's the technique we're actually using there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Great. Dominic, I'll just enable. Hopefully you can, yeah. Oops, what happened? I think Dominic, I lost him. Josh, yes, where's Josh?
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was actually interested in the page schema options with this, at least to see if you guys had anything as far as page schema goes.
At the moment, we don't, but page schema would definitely be an element of meta tags, which at some point we will deal with. So yes, I'm not sure the page schema necessarily is related to keyword optimization, but it's definitely related to, yeah, of course. But it's definitely a beneficial element in the page itself, and definitely something that we may include at some point.
Most definitely, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Josh, I tried a couple of times. I think you're able to talk, Josh. Do you want to try?
Yeah, no, that was me with the page schema question.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Mitch, yes. So, Mitch, go ahead, Mitch.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Mitch.
All right. I'm interested in using your product to optimize product pages created with WooCommerce that are automatically imported to my site. Unfortunately, I had to sign off for a bit of this call, and I have my onboarding call next week. But I guess my question is, I'm using automatically imported data, and there were certain words that are come through automatically for the products I have that I would want to exclude from the meta descriptions. I may have missed this, but does your tool have functionality to do that, right? Like, because one of them is it's products that are coming through where the brand name is mentioned in the product name, and I don't necessarily want that mentioned again in the meta description. Does that make sense?
Well, to answer this, we actually need to look at the particular page.
Okay.
We can configure it any way you want. So basically, we can pick from the page itself, like a product page. We can pick your title of the product. We can pick elements from all the description, various elements of the description. And additionally, we can add a search query that belongs to these topics. For example, if you're selling T-shirts for, I think we had a customer that sold T-shirts for wildlife rhinos. So when someone looks for printed T-shirts, they don't actually type the particular model of that T-shirt, but they do type printed T-shirts. So sometimes the descriptions that you see are fairly long and not specific. We can add the search query in front of the product name or the product description, and this way the printed T-shirt appears in the title very prominently, and then the description appears afterwards. It's very effective this way. So you have the ability to choose the structure that you want to display. But again, it will have to be specifically for each page. We need to look at the structure.
Okay, thank you. Also along those lines, one real quick, if we've spent time, and you may have covered this, I apologize.
No
we've
problem.
spent time using, SEO plugin to optimize and kind of blanket meta descriptions across these product pages, your software overrides those, correct?
Yes. So the answer is yes. What we often see is that most of these plugins, they do not fully optimize the pages. Let's start with that. And even if they do, it's not necessarily the structure that you would like to have at the end of the day. So our system takes all the data that the CMS outputs. It might be tags that were optimized by a plugin or not. We review them, we look at them, and then we decide whether whether to use them or not, whether it's beneficial to the page to use them or not, whether they have relevancy to the page. In many cases, they're repetitive because these plugins, they just add a name or just add some website URL or add archive or add the dates because they have no other data to add. So a lot of these tags look repetitive. So we kind of ignore this and we try to understand the page content and try to create tags that are more relevant to those pages. And yes, so in general, we take whatever the CMS outputs and we eventually construct the most optimized tags that we can produce.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Of course. I think Mitch, did Mitch speak already?
Yes, that was me.
Oh, okay. Okay, we have another Mitch. Yes. Yes, there we go. Mitch? Okay. Yes, yes. Hello there.
So my question is automated reporting. So pre-canned automated reports and or automated reports that can be customized.
Yes, so this is definitely a topic that we will be working on and definitely something that we understand is needed. So currently the reports that are available are either exporting a GIF, like the SERP results, exporting Excels with the data. What we're planning to do is to enhance that functionality generally to be able to construct much more robust reports and also to be able to send these reports by email. These are functions that will be added to the system because they're needed and we do understand that.
When you guys was launching up so, and I think I might have asked this question too before, and but I don't think I wanted to ask because right now I use SEO Press and some of my client website too. So by implementing your application, do I still need all those things?
Yes. Most plugins that you have, I think we have a small echo, but most plugins that are available on CMSs, they offer a wider aspect of functionality. For example, sitemaps, for example, schema, for example, other things. And you might need that functionality. So I'm not sure that it will replace them totally, certainly not at this stage. But everything regarding the optimized meta tag generation, of course, is covered with our product. And as I explained before, it doesn't really matter what those plugins produce. We verify it again according to our system. So that's the answer.
Okay, one last question. Can I ask one more question? Okay.
Of course.
Well, our question is like I'm looking at it the tier 4. Is that good enough for if you have a multiple site in terms of a client website and everything like that for like an agency? That's simply my question.
I'm not sure I understood. What is the question?
My question is which one is the best suited for you to run for, to use for the agency stuff, apart from using on my site, and I have some clients that I wanted to use on their site too. So which best suited for the licensed tier that is best suited for that?
Okay. So the way the system currently works is that you have a single account under which you can add multiple websites, your client's websites or your own. The most flexible plan on AppSumo is tier 4 because it allows you to add as many websites as you want with a certain capacity of web pages and keywords. So that's the best plan and the most flexible one. You don't have specific website limitations. You can use our system to service your customers. So you will add their websites, you will add their keywords. You can show them progress over time, how things are progressing. That's how I would recommend for you to use the system at this stage.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
Hey, in regards to his first question there, what I think somebody's got their volume on or something. If they the redundancy, so yours takes precedence over all the other SEO. That's what it delivers to Google.
Say again, please.
Your plugin or your system, Nytro SEO, that takes precedence over any other plugins that would be, installed, Rank Math or AIO or.
It's not about taking precedence. Basically, what happens is that the CMS outputs raw HTML, which includes a lot of data. We eventually place in the rendered version the optimized tags. So we don't touch what's in the CMS. We just add the optimized data to the tag.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So running them in tandem, it's not going to cause any kind of conflict.
It's not going to cause conflict, and it's not really in tandem because in the CMS you have a lot of data. The CMS produces raw HTML for the page that contains a lot of data. We only touch the meta tags. We regenerate or we add those optimized tags to the section that expects to receive the definition of the title, description, image alts, link anchor text, etc. So really, there's no conflict at all because we are not part of the CMS. We catch the raw data and we render it, whether it's on the browser of the user or in case of a search engine, the search engine renders it, and they see what we projected to them. There's no issue of duplicate content because there's only one version, which is the one we are presenting.
Taken into consideration by the program? Does it show where I can, basically, does it show me how to get the speed up or how it affects the SEO ranking?
We don't actually deal with analysis of speed. There are plenty of tools out there, Google Speed Test and Lightspeed and hundreds of tools that allows you to check the website speed. And it's just we're trying to be focused on what we do better and what is less available. It's very easy to get this data. Google provides these tools free of charge. You just add your website and it will give you a breakdown of all the components that are loading slowly and require some attention. I mean, yes, it's definitely an important parameter, but it's there are different ways, different tools. I'm sure everyone knows them. They're very much available. You just type Google Speed Test and you will get that info, or other speed tests.
Okay, thank you. Thank you also for your time. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Let's see who. Okay, so we have Terence. Hello, Terence. I'm just going to enable you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Terence. Welcome.
Welcome. Real quick. So my question is pertaining to the keywords. So I added a few keywords and it's showing that the score is 118%. But when I hover over the icons where it shows a keyword in focus and promote it, but when I hover over the aggregated keyword score, it's saying in multiple search engines it's poor. But on the right side it's green and it's showing 118%. Can you help me understand?
Yes,
what
yes.
Yes.
Give me 1 second. I'll try to understand what element are you talking about, and then we can just load it. 1 minute.
Yeah, in the keyword section, I added
Yeah.
some keywords.
Yeah. Absolutely. 1 second. We'll load it, and then you asked before.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Yes.
That was
So this is the score you're talking about, 127.
it was a previous. Yep. So on here, yeah. So it was a previous screen. Yep. So the score shows green, but
Yeah.
then there were some icons to the left where it says Google.
This
Right.
one?
You see the green box. Go to the left up top where it shows Google 3 times the red G.
This one?
Up a little bit. Yep, right there. So over to the left of that green box on mine.
This one. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
This is performance over time. Choosing the last one. And
what's the
by the way,
typical time does it take you would say for that to kind of change, even though it's
Yeah.
fairly new?
yeah, so it takes first of all, keywords move quickly. So there is I would say within a week or two you see movement, usually up. But it doesn't mean that this keyword will reach first page in 2 weeks. But you can start seeing a trend very quickly. And the system actually, whenever the search engine crawls the websites once and then again, usually you start to see movement of the ranks.
So would running Google Ads help this more? If I'm running Google Ads at the same time, would it speed this up?
This is a controversial topic. Maybe others have better view of it. Google claims that there's no connection between them. I don't know how to answer whether there is or not. I have no data. I don't think PPC necessarily assists this, but I think the fact that that Google crawls the pages does impact this. So, by the way, you can see here we have a search snippet view, which counts how many times Google accepted this term inside the tags into the search snippet view. It's very interesting data because it tells you that you're effective in your promotion. And it also tells you which pages here are currently being optimized for this keyword. Now, an interesting parameter that is very special in our computations and algorithms is the fact that we can say whether Google sees this keyword as relevant to this page or this page or this page or this page. And we, unlike other systems that use historical data or use data that is outdated, even a week is outdated, by the way, we ping the search engines more than once to ask their opinion about this keyword. We ping whether it appeared in the snippet, it didn't. And then we eventually reach some scoring. And this scoring tells us the relevancy. And 1 is the best relevancy, and 0 is the worst relevancy. So 1, 4, up to 100 is still has relevance, 0 has none. So all these go into these scores here. And you don't need to get to 100. The score is flexible. It can reach 300, but it doesn't really matter. From your perspective, green means it's functional and it can be promoted. So,
okay. So it's not okay. So that was my question, because they're all green, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's great. But then it said it was performing low. So then
yes. And after the system is up and running, you can just decide that you want to see some trends, and you can ask to see over time, trends over time. You can see the performance over time. You can select the search engines you want. This really gives you some kind of understanding how the keyword is performing, and this is very useful. This is, by the way, how we usually communicate with people to show the progress. So if you have clients, I would use this technique in order to show them. You can paste it into a Google Docs very easily, or to other means. You can download the image or print it.
So how were you able to select multiple words and make that screen populate like that?
Yeah. You just go to the list. You have a filter function. You see here, filter. You just choose the keyword. You can choose whatever parameter you want here, assign, not assign, score of certain type. And then you just select it and ask to see the plot. You can obviously select More than that. Actually, this is a good way to show how we do clustering. So how we measure results based on cluster topics. We believe that you shouldn't focus on optimizing just one keyword. You should optimize a cluster of keywords around a certain topic. And here, for example, for this, we have 21 words around this, and then you can see the results or performance of this cluster over time. And of course, when you have more keywords, the performance is not as high, but you can select it to ignore the ones that are far on the list. And then you can see better results for a cluster. Now, why is this important? Because when Google looks at your website, it looks at your authority for a certain topic, and our system is able to take all these keywords and spread them intelligently across all your website pages based on these indicators that I mentioned before. And also, when Google changes its perception, we are also adapting accordingly. So let's just give an example here. So not a good example. Yes, let's say this one. So these indications that I was mentioning before, if we see a drop and we see that the relevancy has dropped also, there may be other pages that have relevancy. So we make these switches. We know how to accept the drop. We know which pages are relevant, and we just make adjustments. This is how our corrective algorithms work. So I hope I answered that question. And let me get back to the other questions. You there, Zane?
Hello.
Yes, Zane. Hi. Hello, who's there? Yeah.
Yeah, so my volume is not working too well. I didn't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so basically I've added 3 websites, and 2 of them I've got optimized. One's at 96, one's at 94. But as I was listening to the other comments and what you were saying, maybe because I'm not seeing any additional search results, that maybe it's because of maybe the meta tags, because they're really super low. They're like at 15% of being accepted or whatever by Google. So maybe that's part of it or something. I don't really know. I have my onboarding tomorrow, so
yeah, we'll definitely look at that. Yeah, absolutely, Zane. I think it would be easier just to do this in the onboarding, and we'll try to figure out what's holding it back or what's not configured.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, great. So I just posted a poll, and there's another poll. Tell me what you think. Okay. Okay. Elisa also. Just 1 minute. I'll allow you also. Just finished. Alexander finished. Yes. So who's online and wants to ask a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Lisa, go ahead.
So my question is unusual in the sense that I am technically minded solopreneur, and I have been neglecting posting a lot of my content on my blog, and I want to catch up. So I'm going to be uploading a lot of content all at once and then ongoing uploading content. So I don't have a current blog or website to optimize, but I am looking at using your tool in conjunction with something else that will help me just get my content optimized right off the gate. What is your recommended sequence of steps for me? How would I structure my workflow and process, and at what point would I plug in your tool, which, by the way, I've already purchased on AppSumo, so I'm looking forward to testing it.
Thank you. Okay, so our system has to work on real pages. So it has to be at the stage where you actually already posted your pages. And the second recommendation is that you should include those keywords that you used in order to create those pages, because many times when you create a page, you have in mind some topics, some keywords that you want to optimize, and it's important to add those with variants into the system.
Hey.
So, yes. Hello, Lisa?
Yeah, that was not me. Thank you. No, this is exactly what I needed to hear.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at building the structure correctly from the ground up. And so understanding at what point to kind of plug in your tool. I totally get the rendering component that you're not getting into the CMS, but do you have any recommendations on how I would structure keywords and these formulas for the titles ahead of posting the content? Could I use your tool for that, or do I need another tool?
No, I understand what you're saying. Usually it relates to content creation, and it's a topic by itself, of course. We have our own understanding of the page. We have our algorithms that know how to assess the content. But when you generate the content using whichever tools, usually what you need to do is have a primary keyword for the page and secondary keywords for the page. This is how at least we do it. And of course, they need to be semantically related and as much as possible close to the same topic. And then you need to place those keywords in your headers. For example, keyword primary one should appear in the H1, should appear at least in one H2, and should appear, let's say, 6 times within the document. And then the secondary total keywords should appear, 5-6 times within the document in various places. And this way you will give more power to this set of keywords to these pages. And these keywords that I just mentioned now, you should also put them in our system. So that's very simple to do because you know with these keywords. And then the system will do everything by itself.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Of course, Lisa, thank you. And
obviously this works with all the SEO plugins and schema plugins, because how would it work? If I use Zenith SEO plugin, after this populates all the meta descriptions and titles, it'll just populate into the SEO plugin interface as well, or?
No, it doesn't actually. There's no connection between them.
Okay.
There is no connection between them. And as I explained before, we don't really, I'll use plain language. We don't care what they produce. They may produce good titles. And if they produce good titles, we will take them and we will use them. If they don't produce good titles or not at all or not relevant, then we will not use them. So we are like the gatekeeper that eventually decides how to construct the tags based on multiple parameters, not just the tags that were generated.
Okay, so this basically does the end posting of the title and meta tag, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Now, another question is let's say I use mass page plugins and schema plugins.
Yes.
So is there a way that I can pull from your tool into the schema plugin so that it posts into the schema as well? Or it'll kind of do that automatically, or?
We currently do not have that function, but of course we can do that, depending on which data you want poured into the schema, because schema is usually, it has a purpose. The purpose could be frequently asked questions or some other thing. So we are not dealing with content per se, but we are able, and we may do this in the future, to be able to provide you with means to insert this into your page somehow. We are thinking about that concept. For example, we are thinking about the possibility to augment headers, to change headers, text to headers, because we come across many websites that really have very poor structure. For example, H1 notified, H2 notified, no headers at all defined. And then you need to go back and look. You have 1,000 pages now. What you're going to do? Go back to developer and try to redo all these pages. Of course, it's not very economical. So basically, we will allow you to define and change automatically these deficiencies. And we will also be able to allow inserting data, although this is not developed yet, but it's definitely an interesting idea.
Okay, cool. So this where does the data rest then? It's coming from the script.
You're talking about the meta tag data?
Yeah, yeah.
The meta tag data is generated in our cloud system,
okay.
Which we displayed when we displayed the system. Basically, you can see the data that is stored there, the keywords, the tags, etc. So, and whenever a page is loaded by a browser, our script calls this data. And when it calls this data, it's rendered with this data to the user or to the search engine. So it calls it from the cloud, and basically it's rendered automatically with those parameters.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. Those are my only questions, and I'm going to get this for sure. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. But yeah, later, if you can look into that feature, if we can pull it into schema, if it could get printed into the schema, things like that. Yeah, I think that would be good, because I do directory sites, right? So directory sites and mass page sites. So you know, there's going to be a lot of data. So also kind of like obviously I'm going to have to upgrade my plans, but like if you have some kind of you know, good upgrades for mass pages.
We do actually.
I know you do. Okay.
Yeah,
then,
we do. Yeah, actually, we try to make our add-ons very, very cost effective. Just as an example, adding 30,000 pages to your account is only $32 per month. It's really very economical. Yeah. But in general, yeah, we can't overcharge, because eventually, it's a cost reduction system, and it needs to keep the cost down. So that's our philosophy.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you for answering that.
Of course. So let's see who else is Rabin. I'm going to activate you.
With the World Water Lab, we had one suggestion, and then I only needed to activate it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, but if I have not put any keywords in my pages, it will automatically scan for possible keywords to promote.
Yes. Periodically, the system goes and searches for possible keywords, and it will present them in the keyword list as suggested, and then you will have the ability to decide whether you want to activate them or not. When they're in suggested mode, they're not counted towards your plan, so they don't take anything from your plan. Only when you activate them, either for promotion or for monitoring, then they go into your plan.
Okay, thank you. And then I don't have it on my page right now. I just saw it. There's an auto crawler. Maybe here. Second keywords. Maybe.
You're talking about our crawler?
Yeah, I saw something in the advanced mode, but I don't know which page it is. it's so huge what you have built.
I think it's about a user agent.
Yeah.
Yes. That particular function is used to define to a particular website or firewall to allow our crawler to crawl the website. It's used only in certain cases where there is some restrictions on crawling of the website, and we will provide this crawler ID to the website webmaster in order to allow the crawling. So no action needed in normal cases. It's only in those cases that they're blocked for normal crawling.
Okay, because we have a community website where some of the pages are blocked, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So then that would be useful, or is the code in the
Yes.
header?
Yes, basically it's not about the code, it's about the crawler. So basically you would need to whitelist this crawler ID, its user agent, and that's it.
Okay. I only need to click yes, or?
How to do it, I think Dima and Vlad will help you later on. Just send a support ticket and they'll show you how to do it. It's a little bit too technical for now.
You're right. Thank you very much. Those were my questions.
Of course.
Thank you.
Koi. So
Hello,
let's
guys.
see. Yes, hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, Lee.
Hi.
And hi there. Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to ask the JavaScript. I know it's requesting a small amount of data from the SaaS, right? Your backend.
Correct.
And returning it back and rendering it on the HTML level, right?
Not HTML level, browser level.
Browser level, correct.
Yes.
Sorry. So you mean client level, right?
Yes.
So how big is the data chunk?
Vlad, you want to answer how big is the data chunk? Dima, sorry.
Do you mean how many data is downloaded on the browser?
Yes.
It's very,
What I'm worried about that whether it is going to impact page load in a sense that in Google page speed score. If the data chunk is too big, it might block the page rendering.
Yeah, we are aware of this, and yeah, we use a very little chunk of data, so we know Google will accept our snippet, and it executes our JavaScript and meta tags update. So based on our experience, Google accepts our snippet.
There's actually minimal speed overhead. It's measured in milliseconds, and it's really negligible in causing any speed effect.
I help you.
Okay, so I think.
Hey, Andrea, thanks for calling me.
Okay.
Okay, so I think somebody already asked before me that what will happen if I cross the limits. So for example, your AppSumo limit is, the highest limit is 1000 keywords for monitoring and 250 keywords for promoting, right? So
yes.
I have a few websites that has roughly 10,000 plus pages. So how would it work? So you have a separate plan for it, right?
Yes, so there's two techniques. We allow as a special promotion to AppSumo, you can stack two tier 4s together.
Okay.
Yes, so it's specially provided, so you can stack two, and it will allow you for total maximum capacity of both programs together. So for example, if one stack has 4,000 pages and this one another 4, so you will have a total of 8,000. So this is one option. The other option is we have add-ons, which I mentioned before. So you can add 30,000 pages as an example. Yeah, of course, you can also add 1,000 or less. But just to show you the maximum, like a large number of pages is only $32 a month. So it really
okay. So is it just
affordable.
pages or
no,
number
any
of
component?
keywords?
Any component can be upgraded.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
that's very nice. Okay, thank you.
Of
Thank
course,
you so much.
Of course, some components are more expensive. The reason is that some components have a higher processing cost. So
Understood.
that's why. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
With local websites in the United States, and I haven't really done the whole tutorial training yet, but I thought now that I'm here on your webinar, and thank you for offering this, do I have to add the keywords with the local city next to it? So each keyword for different cities has to duplicate, like commercial cleaning Orlando, commercial cleaning Tampa, commercial cleaning. Okay, I have to add that. There's no place to just
Yes, so
them.
there's two techniques which I mentioned during the call. One technique is to outline every particular city, Dallas, New York, etc., in the region automation. So you have the ability to add locations, and then you add the keywords afterwards, so or before or afterwards. So it will say commercial cleaning New York. So
Okay.
we
There
can
is
kind
a
of
place to enter. Okay.
yeah, there is a place. However, I believe that this technique of adding the keywords with the region is often very effective for two reasons. One, you monitor this keyword for its ranking. So commercial cleaning New York is a keyword that you monitor, you see its performance. It's much easier to manage it this way. And it's not less effective than us constructing it together. So by all, I would definitely recommend for you to add those. However, do remember that you need to have supportive content. So one of the things we pay attention is not to create tags that are not relevant to the page content. So
Okay.
if you want those localized keywords to be used, you need to have the content describing these services in New York or in other places.
Right.
Yeah, so there won't be any mismatch between the two.
Well, I usually put those locations in the footer, so it would be general for the web.
It's not good enough. It needs to be associated with the word. So you need actually to say commercial cleaning New York within your sentences.
Oh, okay.
If you want to give it power, if you want to give this term power, you need to do it. You need preferably in the URL. URL is a very important indication. You need to put it in the H1, H2, in the content. And you, as I said before, you also need to create variations of this term inside the document. This way, you will get a lot of power, and the chances of ranking is much higher.
But do those pages not have to be duplicate kind of content?
No, not duplicated. No. I mean, duplicate content is never good. But the tags are not related to the content. So having tags, even having tags that are similar, would not cause duplicate reaction from search engines. Only content that is duplicate.
But for ranking for that keyword, if the locations have similar offerings, I have to have unique
not a
content
problem.
on each page.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. On the contrary, I think it builds your authority. But we need to make sure that the tags that are generated are using this word in addition to other different parameters. So just to keep the same word on 100 pages is not good. But to have this word in front of other texts or other parameters that are changing from page to page is fine.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay, cool. So let's see. And
hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Just technical issues here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so my question is, I noticed in the main interface that you specify the website and then follow that by certain keywords that you want to rank for. Let's assume that the website has different blog posts. Each one is talking about a totally separate subject. So how does that work?
I didn't catch the question in full, but I can tell you in general that you can throw any keywords you want to the system, even without thinking. This is one of the greatness of the system, that it doesn't require you to make very detailed keyword research. You can take a bulk of 1,000 keywords, throw it at the system. The system will analyze, score them, and automatically decide which pages are relevant for these keywords to be integrated into the tags. So that is done automatically. The only issue that we need to think about is whether the structure of the content on a blog page is similar or not similar to other pages. And as I explained before, we can make these adjustments by changing the configurations to adapt to it.
Right. So when you're starting the whole process, you can dump in all the keywords you think can fit in different pages, and the system will take care of that without having to do this per page.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
that's the whole issue, because if you need to start looking at each page separately, I mean, you're starting to work and spend a lot of time.
Do the manual work.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much, though.
Of course. So I think Keith, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Well, it would seem like it was a very popular seminar because I tried to get in right at, I'm calling you from Bangkok.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we had a technical problem. It's like a high volume seminar, and we had some technical problem in the background. I'm glad you managed to join.
Well, that was the problem. I got in about 15 minutes late, and so I missed the whole beginning of what probably
apologies.
the best, the whole part.
Apologies.
But hopefully you've got a recording of this so I can.
Yes.
That'll. Okay.
We do. Mm-hmm.
So I can get to that. And then you also mentioned something about onboarding. Is there?
Yes.
I caught. Okay, in some of the questions. My issue is that I'm a news aggregator here in Bangkok, Thailand, and so I aggregate all the news. And one of my issues, obviously, you can imagine, is I'm all duplicate content because I'm aggregating and I'm not spinning any of it. I'm taking the different sites and in one place.
Yes.
So I'm presuming that this would really help me out because it would make it look to Google or the search engines as somewhat different content, because at the moment that's my big issue, is that's the same content is what they're kind of seeing, I think.
Yes, so you're raising a very interesting point, and I'm glad you did that. We didn't actually think about this, but we can deal with this very easily by configuring the tags differently. So just as an example, for one news website, you will configure a certain order of the words or certain parameters from within the content. And in another news site, you will use a different structure. So the tags will be different. The content may not be different, but the tags will definitely can be different. So whether it will help or not, we'll have to see, but I assume it will have some positive impact.
Right, because my issue is I've got 55 news. Basically, we take all the news, translate it into English. So because we're in Thailand, so we translate Thai, Japanese, Vietnamese, translate it all to English to make it an English website. So, but it's still duplicate content, and we're using their tags. Well, we add some tags, and that's, so this should hopefully help us, because I think that they're seeing the same thing and it's not helping our SEO.
But did Google identify these pages as duplicate? Did they tell you they see it as duplicates?
No, we've got 100,000 pages. You would think our SEO would be better, than it is. Or our users would be better. So I'm presuming that that's probably one of the issues being, and then when I noticed, you've got some limits, should I really use your system for all 100,000 pages? Because a lot of it is old news, you know what I mean? And or is it a way that it kind of, you said you run the search like on a weekly basis, so we would go back and update the next 200 pages that are this week's pages, for example?
Okay, so first of all, one of the nice functions that our system provides is to see the real pages, active pages. And often people are very, very surprised to see suddenly 800 pages, 1,000 pages, when there are in fact only 300 pages that are real and usable. All the rest can be canonized, duplicates in this case. Could be error pages, could be redirect. It's very, very, very common, very common. Almost every website we analyze has these issues. And in many cases, the amount of real pages is much less than what you think you have. So this is the first thing. But if you do have real 100,000 pages, then we have a few strategies. First one, you can decide, you can search in the page section and decide which pages you want to optimize or bulk optimize according to search terms or whatever you want to do. And this way you can limit, because we can turn on off every page that you want in this website. You can turn on off that optimization.
Well, what I read on the app or the AppSumo was, like, depending on which plan it was, I'm not looking at the thing, but you do like
yes.
a run like once a week kind of a thing. Is that how we do that? We don't do it as many times as we want, right? There's a
yes, there is a
limit.
Limit. Yes, there is a limit to that, but we don't necessarily limit the size of the website. So if it's within your plan, so let's say you have a website with pages that either is, for example, up to tier 4 is 4,000 pages. Let's assume that this is the case. You can run every time 4,000 pages according to the runs that you have in your account. If you have 100,000 pages and you bought this extension from us, add-ons, then you can run them again. We recommend running once a month. There's no real need to run more than that. But if you have a need, you can run every week. But I wouldn't do it more than that. It's not needed.
Well, I guess the thing is, I was thinking almost less, because, again, we're a news site, so it's old news. You know what I mean? We got 80 new news. You know, I think what people come for is the latest news, not news from 3 years ago.
Yes and no. So my answer is yes and no, because
I think that too. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
yes.
because Google gives you power for your entire website. I wouldn't say 10 years old data may not be relevant anymore, but 3 years data is often very relevant to your overall site authority. So I would not discard that very quickly. You can just decide that you're putting more system effort in the last 3 years rather than in the old years, but I would not remove or de-index them or hide them.
No, I was just wondering about how we run your system on the latest post. That was
yes. So this is a good
and how
suggestion.
often we can run the system.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So at the moment we don't have a date, but we will add a date. It's a good suggestion. So we can classify those pages by dates, and then whenever you run the system, it will just take those pages from a certain date, for example.
Right, because even though I agree with you that some of my previous pages are still valuable, I'm still believing that it's the latest and greatest, that being a news aggregator is what they're looking at. That would just be my guess.
Great. So Keith, first of all, thanks for these insights. And have you booked an onboarding session yet?
Well, I haven't bought yet. I wanted to listen to your thing before I bought.
Okay.
And
cool.
I mean, what I did see, it sounds great. I missed the first part, the best part of the meat of it,
yes.
but
yes.
hopefully I'll see that, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I'd like to be onboarded. But
okay.
I figured I was gonna buy this week, and then I got your email, and I said, you know what, I'll just hold up and double check that and watch your seminar first, and then go get it. So
okay, great.
But thank you.
Thank you, Keith. So did I miss anyone? Has anyone still wants to ask a question? Does anyone still want to ask a question? Okay. So I think we had a wonderful session. Apologies for the little quirks we had in the middle. It was like during the webinar, at least at the beginning, we had some issues, and we apologize for that. Next time it will be smoother. And I thank you all. And I look forward to the next webinars together. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate this.